Nicole, a lot of farmers are under a lot of stress. In fact, a lot of people are under a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And just that break, getting away for a week.
Yeah, the break, I think it's really important. I think that everyone needs a bit of time to have a chance to reflect on what they're doing, why they're doing it, that sort of thing. I think that people tend to get so stuck in the mire of what they're doing that they never get out of it, and they don't actually get to enjoy the fruits of their labor, so to speak. Especially when, you know, there's people out there who are working so incredibly hard right now and they can't seem to see any results from it.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly. There's no sort of you know, goal or finish line right now for anyone. And I think the concept of having a break and taking a bit of time for yourself and your family, it gives people time to recharge together. It gives people time to reconnect as a family. I think it's really important in the farming community, especially because there are a lot of farming, you know, families where there's a generational thing. And I think that if you are, so to speak, the head of a family who's running the farm, and you've got maybe children who might be following in your footsteps, showing them that it's okay to take a break, that it's okay to give yourself time, is going to help to stop that cycle of stress and not being able to cope well with it, and sort of, you know, set an example for your future generations on how to proceed when times do get tough.
Because one of the problems you're going to get with the farmer is that they will convince themselves two things: A, I can't afford it financially, and B, I haven't got time.
Yeah. I think, you know, I think that's pretty common in a lot of people's lives, farmers and, you know, non-farmers. And I think that it's sort of a human condition nowadays because, you know, we're always told we need to make more money, we need to have better things, you know, we need to, you know, be on top. You know what I mean? And I just think that there's always room to give yourself time. And as far as costings are concerned, and this is something we've spoken about before, there's always something out there for everyone. And if someone comes to me or a colleague and says, I really need a break, these are the parameters within which I need to work towards, we can make it happen. And it might, like I've said before, not be an exotic holiday to the Maldives or, you know, up into Thailand. But what it might be is it might be a relaxing time away from all the worry and all the stress that is occupying their minds.
You've got a situation where if you look at your diary, I can't take that week because I've got a meeting.
Yep.
Following week I can't go because I've got to see the accountant, and all of a sudden you've started carving, lambing, or whatever.
Yeah, so I feel a little bit like I'm trying to explain the scheduling. It is hard, and I've been there.
I know you have. That's why you're back here, because you've walked in those shoes.
Yep, I've done the exact same thing, and then one day it will get to a point where one day you wake up and you think it doesn't matter, and I just need to make something happen. And I think, you know, having meetings and having pre-planned, organized things that you need to do, those can be moved. You can ask others to help you out. You know, if you say to someone, I can't make that meeting next week because I really need a break, I you know, need to spend time with my family and we need to get away, I can guarantee you the accountant is not going to call back and say, well, no, you have to come to this meeting or else. There's, you know, there's not a lot of consequences for rearranging your schedule or trying to manipulate things so that you can give yourself that time. But there is a great deal of consequence for not giving yourself that time.
And in fact, an accountant that's worth his or her salt is actually going to say, I want you to go. You must go, and I'll find some money out of a budget somewhere.
Exactly. And, you know, I can't stress enough how in this day and age, we put so much pressure on ourselves in all professions, but the farming community especially, because they are dealing with incredibly high mortgages. They are dealing with incredibly sensitive issues. You know, we're talking about feeding the nation. You know, it's
feeding the
world. It's a really big responsibility that they're carrying on their shoulders, and you cannot carry that sort of a weight if there's more weight added on because of stress and exhaustion and worry, those elements, the worry, the exhaustion, the stress, they need to be removed so that they can continue to carry that heavy weight of providing food for the world.
If a farmer is bold enough to go to his or her GP, the GP is likely to say, you're out of here.
I would totally agree, and I cannot stress enough how important it is to talk to someone, if it is your GP, if it is a friend. I think too often in this world, especially in the farming community, the concept of stress and mental health, if it's not something extreme, if it's not someone's been injured and is trying to cope with coming back from an injury, or someone has suffered a really tragic loss or something, you know, the mental health issues are marginalized, and it makes people sort of, they feel that they can't talk about it because it's not bad enough, or, oh, Joe down the road is going through the exact same thing that I'm going through, you know, how dare I think that I deserve help? But everyone deals with things differently. You don't know the next door neighbor's circumstances. You have no idea what they're going through in relationship to how you're dealing with something. And I think it's so important that everyone just takes how they feel, respects how they feel, and reaches out to the correct people in order to ensure that they do get the assistance that they so badly may need.
One of the nice things about a break is looking forward to it.
Completely, and I think that that's something a lot of people tend to forget when you're booking a holiday. Yes, part of it is planning ahead and going, this is what we're going to do. We're going to fly on this flight, get to the airport, head to our hotel. That's how the holiday is going to go. But the question I ask everyone I speak to, all of my clients, without a doubt, is, are you excited? And if you ask any of my clients, they will say, I say that more than once during a consultation, to the point where they go, we're excited, but I think you're a bit more excited than we are, Nicole. And it's because...
But you're happy for them,
exactly,
of course.
Exactly. But it's because when I'm going on a holiday, that is my light at the end of the tunnel. That's something that I'm looking forward to. And like I've said in the past, it gives you a reason to get up every day. You know, oh, it's so dark out, it's 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whatever ungodly hour those poor people have to get up. But why am I doing this? You know, am I just doing this to get up tomorrow and do the same thing again? Well, no, I'm doing this because in 3 months' time, we're going to Rarotonga, or in 3 months' time, we're going to Fiji, or in 2 months' time, we're going to head over to the Gold Coast with the family for a week. And it gives you a purpose. It gives you a reason for why you're doing everything that you're doing.
Thank you very much indeed, and I hope we've saved a whole lot of people a whole lot of heartache by convincing them to go and have a holiday.
And I do too. And like I've said, you know, it's not about the money, it's about the actual experience. And we don't want to sell people things that they can't afford.
Exactly.
You know, so.
Thank you very much.
But thank you, Rob.